I used to think the refrigerator was the only safe place for eggs, until I learned how they were stored long before modern kitchens. Hi, friends. I'm Nancy. Today, I'd like to share what I've learned with you. Some gentle, practical ways to keep eggs fresh longer, reduce waste, and feel more confident in your own kitchen. Let's take a look together. Before we talk about specific storage methods, there is one important idea that makes everything else work. It may sound simple, but many people don't realize how important it is. Eggs are naturally protected when they are fresh and unwashed. When a hen lays an egg, the shell is covered with a thin, natural coating. You might notice it looks slightly dusty or matte. This layer is often called the bloom. Its job is to seal the tiny pores in the shell and protect the egg from bacteria, moisture loss, and air getting inside. This is why washing eggs too early can actually shorten their shelf life. When you wash an egg, even with clean water, you remove that protective layer. Once it's gone, moisture and bacteria can enter the shell more easily, and the egg begins to age much faster. The white becomes watery, the yolk loses its firmness, and the flavor slowly changes. If an egg has a bit of dirt or straw on it, there's no need to worry. Instead of washing, simply brush it off gently with a dry cloth or a soft brush. This keeps the shell clean without damaging its natural protection. Washing should only be done right before cooking, not before storage. One of the most reliable traditional ways to preserve eggs for a very long time is using lime water. This method has been used for generations, long before refrigerators became common, and when done correctly, it can help keep eggs fresh for up to 2 years. To begin, you'll need unwashed eggs with intact shells. This is important. The eggs should not be cracked, and they should still have their natural protective coating. Handle them gently from start to finish to avoid damaging the shell. Next, prepare a suitable container. A wide-mouth glass jar or a food-safe plastic container works best, as it makes placing and removing the eggs easier. Make sure the container is clean and completely dry before you start. Carefully place the eggs into the container. Now it's time to prepare the lime water. Use food-grade slaked lime, sometimes labeled as pickling lime. The usual ratio is about 3 tablespoons of lime powder per 1 quart of clean water. If you are using a larger container, simply adjust the amount accordingly. Stir the mixture well until the lime is fully dissolved. The water may look cloudy, which is normal. Once the eggs are arranged, slowly pour the lime water over them until all the eggs are fully submerged. Take your time with this step so the eggs remain intact. What makes this method work is a simple, natural reaction. The lime water forms a thin calcium-based layer on the eggshell. This layer seals the tiny pores in the shell, preventing bacteria from entering and slowing down moisture loss from the inside. As a result, the egg stays firm, fresh, and nutritious for a much longer time. After sealing the container tightly, store it in a cool, dark place away from direct sunlight and heat. A pantry, cellar, or storage cabinet works well. There is no need to refrigerate the eggs while they are stored this way. This method is highly effective, but it does require careful attention to cleanliness and proper ratios. When done correctly, lime water preservation is a gentle, dependable way to reduce waste and keep eggs available for everyday cooking over a long period of time. Another gentle and effective way to keep eggs fresh longer is by using a very thin layer of oil. Start by choosing eggs that are clean, uncracked, and unwashed. These eggs still have their natural protective coating on the shell, which helps block bacteria and moisture. The oil simply adds an extra layer of support. You don't need much at all. A few drops go a long way. Pour a small amount of food-grade mineral oil or a mild, odorless cooking oil onto a clean paper towel. Gently rub the oil over the surface of each egg, making sure the shell is evenly coated. The layer should be very thin. The egg should not feel greasy, just lightly polished. This step helps seal the tiny pores in the shell, slowing down moisture loss and limiting the amount of air that can pass through. I used to think oiling eggs sounded unnecessary, but one winter, I tried it with just a few eggs as an experiment. Weeks went by, and they were still firm and fresh. That small success gave me confidence. Sometimes it's the quiet methods, not the complicated ones, that really work. Once the eggs are coated, place them carefully into a carton or storage container. Arrange them so they don't bump into each other, and try to keep the pointed end facing downward. This helps keep the yolk centered and stable over time. Store the eggs in a cool, dark place, away from heat and direct light. A pantry, cupboard, or storage room works well. There's no need to refrigerate them if the space stays consistently cool. Every couple of weeks, take a moment to check the eggs. Look for cracks, unusual odors, or any changes in appearance. If an egg seems questionable, remove it right away. With proper handling and regular checks, this simple oil method can help keep eggs fresh for several months. And this is the final tip I want to share with you today. Preserving washed eggs by boiling and storing in vinegar and salt. This method is especially useful if your eggs have already been washed or if you usually buy eggs from the supermarket. Once eggs are washed, their natural protective coating is gone, which means they are no longer suitable for long-term raw storage. In this case, the safest and most practical solution is to cook them first and then preserve them properly. Start by placing the eggs in a pot and adding enough water to fully cover them. Add a small amount of salt and a splash of vinegar to the water. The salt helps with basic preservation, while the vinegar supports food safety and makes the eggs easier to peel later. Bring the water to a gentle boil, then lower the heat and cook the eggs until they are fully hard-boiled. Once the eggs are cooked, transfer them to cold water and let them cool completely. After that, carefully peel the shells, taking your time to keep the egg whites smooth and intact. Clean, undamaged eggs will store better and look nicer in the jars. Next, prepare clean glass jars. These jars should be sterilized in advance, either by steaming them or boiling them briefly in water. Into each jar, add a few cloves of garlic, several whole black peppercorns, and a small amount of salt. These ingredients help create a mild antibacterial environment and add a gentle flavor. Then take 1 carrot and 1 beetroot and gently shred them into thin strips. Once you're done, add a portion of the shredded vegetables into the glass jar with the other prepared ingredients. These vegetables are optional, but they add color and a subtle taste without overpowering the eggs. Place the peeled eggs gently into the jars, then pour in hot water mixed with vinegar until everything is fully submerged. Seal the jars tightly to ensure long-term safety. Place the sealed jars into a pot lined with a towel, add hot water around them, and gently simmer for about 15 minutes. This final water bath step helps sterilize the contents and seal the jars properly. After cooling, store the jars in a cool, well-ventilated place away from direct sunlight. Eggs preserved this way can last up to 6 months. This method is convenient, reliable, and perfect for households that like to prepare food ahead of time while keeping safety and flavor in mind. If you enjoy simple, practical tips like this, I'd be happy if you subscribe and join me here. Before we wrap up, just remember that keeping eggs fresh isn't about complicated rules or expensive tools. It's about understanding a few simple principles and choosing the method that fits your home and your routine. Small habits like these can help reduce waste, save money, and make everyday cooking feel calmer and more enjoyable. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.